Wait, that's not how I start the vlog, guys. You know better. This is how I start the vlog. Hey guys, my name's Kuya Kurt. I like to travel around to different parts of the Philippines, eating at wet and dry markets while practicing my Tagalog. Oh! Kumusta? Gusto mo ng shoutout?
Good.
You have to go from point A to point B. That's what everybody says. But I want to cruise to point E. Go to point M. And when I reach point Z, who says I won't keep going? We know what we're made of.
Now a local tax expert will do your taxes for $150 all in. They know your situation, from self-employment to W-2s. Pay only $150 to get your taxes done by a local expert.
Guys,
Shoutout sa isla, mga batang isla. Let's go.
galing. Kuya, ang init ngayon. Paanong mo ito?
Yan, drip check. Galing akong mall.
Guys, tignan
Nagalaw
mo.
church.
Guys, parang ano ka, kuya? Parang model ka, no?
Opo, may page din po.
I-shoutout natin yung page mo.
Yun, papakita natin sa nila.
Guys, my page. Ano ka? Fashion designer, ano ka?
Ayun, nagpa-model po ng mga...
Hala, kaya pala, guys. Ito guys.
Follow po, Dre Days. Let's go.
Galing mo, kuya. Sige. Ikaw rin, ha? Guys, that's how you start a vlog. So guys, we're here on Sinag Street in Mandaluyong sa harap ng JMV Rising Wet and Dry Market. But guys, look at this. This is a whole... This whole thing was a garage, or not a garage, sorry, what do you call it? It was a car wash. So this entire thing was a car wash. Here in the Philippines, car washes are literally you just drive your car in and they do like a hand detail wash. You very rarely see any of those car washes where it's like you drive in, it's automated, and you come out the other side. This is all hand detailing. So this used to be a car wash, and ma'am Jean, who we'll meet, she turned it into this like miniature wet and dry market. It's so cool. It's got all these different iba't ibang puestos. So all of these stands are owned by different people. We have siomai, we have hot potato, project pizza, we have fried noodles as well. And guys, look at this. We even have like a sari store. Look at this. She's got like a it's like a fully operational sari store with all of the canned goods, all of the pampalasa, the single satchel, mga kinakailangan ng bahay. Pati yung rice at saka bigas, prutas at mga gulay. Pero ngayon gabi guys, dito tayo kakain sa isang pwesto ng mga taco kung saan natatagpuan daw ang pinakamasarap na mga taco sa buong mundo. At guys, may treat na naman tayo dito. May-ari mismo ng Taco Loca, si Ma'am Nicole. Kamusta kayo?
I'm good.
So, kailan ba kayo nag-start ng taco stand na ito? Yung pwesto ng tacos?
Nag-start talaga yung taco mismo. Online pa lang ako noon, 2020.
2020? Sa pandemic. Tamang-tama.
Kasi ako dun sa taco.
Sakto-sakto yun.
Nag-crave ako sa taco, wala akong mabibilan kasi lockdown eh. So, gumawa ako ng taco. Tapos natikman ko yun, sabi ko, ay may market siya.
Kaya pala.
Oo, kaya pala. Tapos yun nagbenta ako online.
Online lang. So mga Facebook, ganon?
Opo, ganun.
Ay, tapos anong nangyari after pandemic?
Ayun, after pandemic, 2023, nag-open na ako ng maliit na stall. Dun sa, poblasyon sa amin malapit. Ganun.
Tapos nag-start ka dito mismo sa Mandaluyong.
Opo, ito baby pa to. Itong itong store, 2023.
Wow!
March lang, itong store.
So parang bago pa lang kayo dito.
Yes.
So sa menu nyo, ano yung talagang, sinong bahala sa menu? Sino yung gumawa?
Ako po.
So, saan nanggaling yung inspiration mo? Bakit sabi mo gusto ko ng taco stand?
Mahilig kasi talaga ako magluto-luto eh.
Ay,
Benta-benta.
pati yung mga taco.
Oo.
So, bakit mga tacos? Kasi parang kumain na ako sa higipan ng 500 karenderias dito sa Pilipinas. Ito yung first time na talagang nakita ko isang taco stand, isang pwesto ng mga tacos. So bakit taco? Bakit parang pang Mexican yung gusto mong fina-focus?
Kasi bihira yung taco sa Pilipinas.
Ay, kaya pala.
Bihira.
Sa menu nyo, anong pinakasikat? Ano yung pinakamabenta araw-araw?
Beef taco natin, tapos ayan, ang ating Mexican fried rice.
Ay, wow! Siguro sa akin, gusto kong subukan, pwede yung 2-piece tacos. Siyempre, kailangan kong subukan yung chicken quesadilla. idea.
Okay.
At saka syempre, sinabi mo yung rice. So, isang Mexican fried rice sa akin.
Yes.
Gaano katagal ang kailangan nyo?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. O sige, di guys. So, 20 minutes. Gusto nyo, sama kayo sa vlog. Ay, sa akin. Guys, Ma'am Jean, kung nalaala nyo, nag-vlog ako sa pwesto. Dito lang, called Zarap. So, nag-vlog ako doon nakaraang 3 araw.
Oo, 3 araw yan.
Ito si Ma'am Jean, siya yung may-ari. Tapos, meron din siyang milk tea stand. Ang klaseng milk tea ba ito?
Bestseller.
Ito yung bestseller?
Kintal melon.
Oh, sige, try natin ito, guys. Excited ako dito. Thank you, Ma'am Jean. Ma'am Jean is so mapait, guys. Look how cool this is, though. Let's get the milk tea here set up. And then I'm going to show you guys a little bit of, here we go. You guys will love this. Ready? That was a little underwhelming, guys. Let's try this. Winter melon. Oh, that's very refreshing. The little jellies keep getting in the straw. That's very good, guys. This is down, heading more into the barangay. This is like your typical barangay at night, guys. Very chill vibes. I love the way that they have this lit up. Super chill. Ano po? Ha?
Potato.
Sa inyo ito?
Yes, sir.
Ay, gusto mo na i-shoutout natin yung hot potato mo yun sa vlog. Guys, may isang shoutout tayo para sa pwesto ng hot potato. Ito yung may-ari. Ano gusto niyong sabihin po?
Hi, this is my hot potato franchise and pizza.
Galing, guys, punta kayo dito kung gusto niyong tikman yung pinaka-masarap na fries at saka pizza sa buong mundo, di ba?
Yes, sir.
My confidence! Tamang-tama yun.
Hi, Alpha.
Hello.
Can you help me write code?
I was trained to answer questions, but I'm able to learn.
That's very open-minded of you.
Thank you. I'm glad you're happy with me.
What's this guy doing?
That's a developer.
What do you think he's working on?
That's a tough question. He might be working on a new feature, a bug fix, or something else.
It's quite possible.
Yes.
Do you see it's a squash racket, but that's pretty close.
That's a badminton racket.
No, but you're not the first person to make that mistake.
AI, a technology that has been advancing at breakneck speed.
Artificial intelligence is all the rage.
Some are now raising alarms about
it. It is definitely concerning.
This is an AI arms race.
We don't know how this is all going to shake out, but it's clear something is happening.
I'm kind of restless. Trying to build AGI is the most exciting journey, in my opinion, that humans have ever embarked on. If you're really going to take that seriously, there isn't a lot of time. Life's very short. My whole life's goal is to solve artificial general intelligence. And on the way, use AI as the ultimate tool to solve all the world's most complex scientific problems. I think that's bigger than the internet. I think that's bigger than mobile. I think it's more like the advent of electricity or fire.
Gathering for the first ever Global AI Safety Summit, set to look at the risks
I think this is a hugely critical moment for all humanity. It feels like we're on the cusp of some incredible things happening. AGI is pretty close, I think. This is the moment I've been living my whole life for. So I set my heart on to get inspiration from the brain.
I remember I was thinking this once the end, you know, so you're studying neuroscience and then get a PhD, you work hard. I want to be able to solve AI. I want to be able to solve problems.
The human brain is the only existence which we have, perhaps in the entire universe, that general intelligence is possible at all. And I thought someone in this building should be interested in general intelligence like I am. And then Shane's name popped up.
Next to say yes, say no. It's not really clear. We don't get a lot faster in terms of occupations. But how many go through in terms of general intelligence?
We were both obsessed with AI, artificial general intelligence.
Today I'm going to be talking about approaches to building AGI. With my colleague in Sabah, we're looking at ways to bring in ideas from theories of neuroscience.
I felt like we were a secret that no one else knew. Shane and I, no one in our team was supportive of what we were doing. AI almost embarrassing work to use in academic circles. Like if you said you were working on an AI, then you clearly weren't a serious scientist. So I convinced Shane the right way to do it would be start a company.
Okay, we're going to try to do artificial general intelligence. It may not even be possible. We're not quite sure how we're going to do it, but we have some ideas into other approaches. Huge amounts of money, huge amounts of risk, lots and lots of compute. And if we pull this off, it'll be the biggest thing ever, right? That is a very hard thing for a typical investor to do. It's almost like buying a lottery ticket.
I'm going to be talking about different neuroscience and how it might be used to help us build AGI. Finding initial funding for this was very hard. We're going to solve all of intelligence. You can imagine some of the looks I got when we were pitching that around.
So I'm a VC, and I look at about 700 to 1,000 projects a year. And I fund literally 1% of those, about eight projects a year. So that means 99% of the time, you're in no mode.
Wait a minute, I'm telling you this is the most important thing of all time. I'm giving you all this build-up, how it explains, connects with the brain, why the time's right now, and then you're asking me, how are you going to make money? What's your product? So crazy, a question. Have you not been listening to what I'm saying?
We needed investors who aren't necessarily going to invest because they think it's the best investment decision.
It's the Silicon Valley version of the man behind the movie, The Wizard of Oz. They had a lot to do with giving you PayPal, Facebook, YouTube, and Yelp.
If everyone says X, Peter Thiel suspects that the opposite of X is quite possibly true.
So Peter Thiel was our first big investor, but he insisted that we come to Silicon Valley because that was the only place there would be the talent and we could build that kind of company. But I was pretty adamant we should be in London because I think London's an amazing city. Plus, I knew there were really amazing people trained at Cambridge and Oxford and UCL in Silicon Valley. Everybody's founding a company every year, and then if it doesn't work, you chuck it and you start something new. That is not conducive to a long-term research challenge. So we were totally an outlier for him. All right, everyone, welcome to mine. So, what is our mission? We summarize it as my mission is to build the world's first general learning machine. So we always stress the word general and learning here, the key things.
Our mission was to build an AGI, an artificial general intelligence. And so that means that we need a system which is general. It doesn't learn to do one specific thing. That's really human intelligence. We can actually really
It's going to cause me a lot of hard work, but one of the things that would keep up tonight is to not waste this opportunity to really make a difference here and have a big impact on the world.
The first people that came and joined DeepMind already believed in the dream. This was, I think, one of the first times they found a place full of other dreamers.
You know, we collected this Manhattan project, if you like, together to solve AI.
In the first 2 years, we were in total stealth mode, and so we couldn't say to anyone what were we doing or where we worked. It was all quite vague.
It had no public presence at all. You couldn't look at a website. The office was at a secret location. When we would interview people in those early days, they would show up very nervously. I had at least one candidate who said, I just messaged my wife to tell her exactly where I'm going, just in case this turns out to be some kind of horrible scam and I'm going to get kidnapped.
Well, my favourite new person who's an investor is, I've been working on for a year, is Elon Musk. So for those who don't know, that's what he looks like. And he hadn't really thought much about AI until we chatted. His mission is to die on Mars or something, but not an impact. We made some big decisions about how we were going to approach building AI. This is a reinforcement learning setup. This is the kind of setup that we think about when we say we're building, you know, an AI agent. There's basically the agent, which is the AI, and then there's the environment that it's interacting with. We decided that games, as long as you're very disciplined about how you use them, are the perfect training ground for AI development.
We wanted to try to create one algorithm that could be trained up to play several dozen different Atari games. So just like a human, you have to use the same brain to play all the games.
You can think of it that you provide the agent with a cartridge, and you say, okay, imagine you're born into that world with that cartridge, and you just get to interact with the pixels and see the score. What can you do?
So what you're going to do is take your Q function, QK. Q-learning is one of the oldest methods for reinforcement learning. And what we did was combine reinforcement learning with deep learning within one system. No one had ever combined those two things together at scale to do anything impressive. And we needed to prove out this thesis.
We tried doing Pong as the first game. It seemed like the simplest.
It hasn't been told anything about what it's controlling or what it's supposed to do. All it knows is that score is good, and it has to learn what its controls do and build everything for sort of the first principles.
It wasn't really working.
I was just saying to Shane, maybe we're just wrong. And we can't even do Pong.
It was a bit more than thinking how far we had to go if we were going to really build a generally intelligent system.
And it felt like it was time to give up and move on. And then we got our first point. Yeah, and then was like, is this random? No, it's really getting a point now.
It was really exciting that the thing that previously couldn't even figure out how to would have suddenly been able to totally get it right.
Then it was getting a few points, and then it won its first game, and then 3 months later, no human could beat it. You hadn't told it the rules, how to get the score, nothing. And you just tell it to maximize the score, and it goes away and does it. And this is the first time anyone had done this end-to-end learning.
Okay, so we have this working in quite a general way. Now let's try another game.
So then we try Breakout. At the beginning, after 100 games, the agent is not very good. It's missing the ball most of the time, but it's starting to get the hang of the idea that the bat should go towards the ball. Now, after 300 games, it's about as good as any human can play this. We thought, well, that's pretty cool, but we left the system playing for another 200 games. And it did this amazing thing. It found the optimal strategy was to dig a tunnel around the side and put the ball around the back of the wall.
Finally, the agent is actually achieving what you thought it would achieve. That is a great feeling, right? When we do research, that is the best we can hope for. We started generalizing to 50 games, and we basically created a recipe. We could just take a game that we had never seen before. We would run the algorithm on that, and the QM could train itself from scratch, achieving human level or sometimes better than human level.
We didn't build it to play any of them. We could just give it a bunch of games and it would figure it out for itself. And that, there was something quite magical in that.
Suddenly you had something that would respond and learn whatever situation it was parachuted into. And that was like a huge, huge breakthrough. It was, in many respects, the first example of any kind of thing you could call a general intelligence.
Although we were a well-funded startup, holding us back was not enough compute power. I realized that this would accelerate our timescale to AGI massively.
I used to see Damas quite frequently. We'd have lunch, and he did say to me that he had two companies that were involved in buying DeepMind, and he didn't know which one to go with. The issue was, would any commercial company appreciate the real importance of the research and give the research time to come to fruition and not be breathing down their necks saying we want some kind of commercial benefit from this?
Google has bought DeepMind for a reported £400 million, making the artificial intelligence firm its largest European acquisition so far. The company was founded by 37-year-old entrepreneur Demis Hatzidis.
After the acquisition, I started mentoring and spending time with Demis and just listening to him. And this is a person who fundamentally is a scientist and a natural scientist. He wants science to solve every problem in the world, and he believes it can do so. That's not a normal person you find in a tech company.
We were able to not only join Google, but run independently in London, build our culture, which was optimized for breakthroughs, and not deal with products, do pure research. Our investors didn't want to sell, but we decided that this was the best thing for the mission. In many senses, we were underselling in terms of value before it more matured and you could have sold it for a lot more money. And the reason is because there's no time to waste. There's so many things that got to be cracked. While the brain's still in gear, you know, still alive, there's all these things that got to be done. So you haven't got, I mean, how many billions would you trade for another 5 years of life, you know, to do what you set out to do?
Okay, all of a sudden we've got this massive scale compute available to us. What can we do with it?
Go is the pinnacle of board games. It's the most complex game ever devised by man. There are more possible board configurations in the game of Go than there are atoms in the universe.
Go is the holy grail of artificial intelligence. For many years, people have looked at this game and they've thought, wow, this is just too hard. Everything we've ever tried in AI, it just falls over when you try a game of Go. And so that's why it feels like a real litmus test of progress.
We had just bought DeepMind. They were working on reinforcement learning, and they were the world's experts in games. And so when they introduced the idea that they could beat the top-level Go players in a game that was thought to be incomputable, I thought, well, that's pretty interesting.
Our ultimate next step is to play the legendary Lee Sedol in just over 2 weeks.
A match like no other is about to get underway in South Korea.
is getting ready to rumble.
Lee Sedol is probably one of the greatest players of the last decade. I describe him as the Roger Federer of Go.
I showed up, and all of a sudden we have 1,000 Koreans who represent all of Korean society, the top Go players. And then we have Demis and a great engineering team.
He's very famous for very creative fighting play, so this could be difficult for us.
I figured Lee Sedol was going to beat these guys, but they'll make a good showing. Good for a startup. I went over to the technical group and they said, let me show you how our algorithm works.
If you step through the actual game, you can see kind of what AlphaGo thinks.
The way we start off from training AlphaGo is by